Imagine yourself
What's your name, soldier?
in a frozen forest.
I said, what's your name?
Taylor.
What's going on, everyone? It's your boy dkdynamite, and today what I have for you guys is a review on the campaign within Black Ops 3. So a lot of people out there wanted me to review the campaign and give my thoughts on the actual story here within Black Ops 3. So within this video, I'm going to talk about the story. I'm not going to go into too much detail regarding every single mission, but I'm going to give a brief summary of the actual game. I'll talk about the characters, the climax, and how I think the game really fits into the Black Ops storyline. So in the background, I threw in some gameplay of my favorite campaign mission in Black Ops 3, which is the 8th mission known as Demon Within. I'll talk about this mission a little bit more in a little bit, but let's jump into the actual story of Black Ops 3. So as the official description says, Black Ops 3 is set 40 years after the events of Black Ops 2. Black Ops 3 follows up on the events of Black Ops 2, specifically in regards to the drone strikes of 2025 that took place by the hands of Raul Menendez near the end of the game. The year is now 2065 and technology is embedded on the battlefield. The campaign is of course only available on the Xbox One, PS4, and PC editions of the game. The player of course has access to all the missions from the start and will be able to play them in any order desired without consequences. So that's the description on the actual story mode. So let's jump into the actual characters and the actual meaning of the Black Ops 3 campaign. So this campaign really makes you think, because while you really think, you know, you're a certain player with your team looking for John Taylor, the game itself also has meaning behind the technology that evolved humanity in this generation, 2065. So when you really look into the game itself, you begin to realize that the true meaning of this game was that technology could go too far. And you begin to see that who you may think is your friend or close ally could really be your enemy. And I think this story had true meaning, aside from you actually looking for Taylor throughout the whole campaign. So the game starts off with you, the player, and your CO, Jacob Hendricks, as you infiltrate an Ethiopian airport to rescue Egyptian Prime Minister Said from the NRC with the assistance of John Taylor and his team of cybernetically enhanced soldiers who also work for the Winslow Accord. So to sum it up, after rescuing the Prime Minister, you, John Taylor, and Jacob Hendricks try to escape this Ethiopian airport. Unfortunately, you get apprehended by a crazy killer robot known as a grunt who rips off your arms and breaks your leg and presumably kills you. But luckily, John Taylor comes to the rescue, helps you out, and kills the grunts. So within the beginning of the second mission, you then get introduced to the DNI, which enhances you as a soldier, which is exactly what John Taylor and his team has, which you now have. And they implemented the entire DNI into your brain. So the second mission is focused on you getting used to this new technology, getting used to the simulation idea and how to hack, how to use your movement. Within the third mission, you come to learn that John Taylor went rogue. And with the help of Jacob Hendricks, you then try to figure out where John Taylor went, what his plan is, why he went rogue, and overall just what the technology means as a whole and how it's affected society in 2065. So the rest of the campaign is focused on you with your team trying to find John Taylor. And I think the focus of the campaign was pretty solid. It had a pretty nice story, but I think what killed it for me was that Black Ops 2 can't exist without Black Ops 1, since the game directly follows up to the events of Black Ops 1, but Black Ops 3 could exist without both Black Ops 1 and 2. Treyarch didn't have to implement the aftermath of the drone strikes of 2025. They didn't have to use that as the foundation for the storyline in this game. They could have used some completely different event to build up the events of Black Ops 3. So, if you guys are all wondering, does Mason appear in this game? Does Reznov appear? What's going on with the numbers? This video does contain spoilers, so be aware. The game itself does not feature any small reference to the Masons from Black Ops 2, Hudson, Reznov, the numbers. And while that may disappoint a lot of people, since it did disappoint me a little bit after I played the campaign, I still think the story itself was solid on its own, and I see what Treyarch tried to do. The main focus of this campaign, as I said earlier, is really about the technology. It's not necessarily about you finding John Taylor, understanding what he did and how he went rogue. It's kind of understanding what the technology did to society and how, you know, John Taylor was once your ally and is not your enemy. So, after all the action in the campaign, there's a lot of great missions, by the way. I think, you know, the introduction of, you know, some vehicles and the jets and a lot of the robot boss fights, you know, it was pretty solid. I had a great time playing the game. You know, it may have took 8.5 hours, but it was worth playing. I stayed hooked. Each campaign looked beautiful on the PS4, and it of course looks even better on the PC. So I thought what Treyarch did was great. Overall, I definitely recommend playing the campaign. The story was pretty nice. You know, if you're not thinking about Mason and the other characters from Black Ops 2, then you'll have a good time. But if you're, you know, still thinking about how they should have implemented some traditional characters from Black Ops 2 into Black Ops 3, then you're probably going to be miserable the entire campaign, since this storyline in particular focuses on a completely different set of characters with completely different set of motives. And that's the campaign as a whole. You literally are just looking for Taylor the entire game, up until the last mission when things go a little crazy, and as you begin to discover that the DNI and all the technology around you is corrupt. And the entire time, it turns out that you were actually Taylor. As you guys heard at the beginning of this video, the very last scene of this game features the player, which is you, telling another soldier that your name is Taylor. And a lot of people were left thinking, what the hell just happened? A lot of people were left confused, since a lot of people were confused from the start of the game. So imagine hearing I am Taylor at the end of the game. So there's lots of theories out there regarding what this means, how it affects the Black Ops storyline, and whether or not a sequel is possible to Black Ops 3. I think what Treyarch did was something that Treyarch would usually do. They sneakily put in lots of hints, lots of references ever since the very start of the game that you were actually Taylor. And while there's many theories out there regarding how you actually are Taylor, I think some of the best theories are confirmed through the briefing of each mission. As you guys see at the beginning of each mission, there's a lot of writing on the side of the screen, which you only have a few seconds to actually read, but they're actually written in the form of Taylor's journal, which reveals that the player actually dies shortly after the surgery, which indicates that every event that happened after the 54 Immortals uprising is just a figment of the player's dying dream, based on Taylor's real experience as he and his squad mates went on a hunt for a rogue agent named Dylan Stone. That is exactly what the community has come up with, word for word, regarding the events of the campaign. So, as a result, the final mission in Black Ops 3 is not based on a real mission that John Taylor went on. Instead, it's a figment of imagination created by the player's mind to achieve closure. That's why that mission is disconnected from the rest of the story of the game. So that's what the community has come up with, and I think that's a brilliant explanation as to what the hell happened in Black Ops 3. Because as I said, Treyarch had you fooled the entire game. You thought you were with Jacob, you were with the team, looking for John Taylor, looking for why he went rogue, when really overall, you were Taylor. And the DNI became so corrupt that you didn't even know what was going on. And it's of course completely understandable that a player like you and me got confused as we played the campaign. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about the campaign. Was it too confusing? Was it a solid story? And again, I thought the game itself was brilliant, and I think Treyarch's little twist was very clever. And it is something that Treyarch would usually do, so I'm not surprised they implemented such a twist into the campaign. And in terms of a sequel, I think if they did a sequel, I don't know how I would feel about that. I was really hoping Black Ops 3 would be the end of the Black Ops series so that Treyarch could start something new. But based on this campaign, it is certainly possible. So going back to mission number 8, which was Demon Within, I felt that was my #1 favorite campaign mission in Black Ops 3, since it went back to the roots of Call of Duty with a traditional environment against Japanese soldiers from the World War II era. And it all obviously took place during a simulation, during a nightmare with one of our characters. And I thought it was a nice campaign mission. It also brought in some zombies towards the end of the mission, which was crazy as hell. But overall, I think a lot of people felt that was the best mission of the game. But let me know down below what you thought about mission number 8. But yes, the game is focused a lot on simulation, a lot on twists, technology, your brain. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. But I think when it comes to the roots of Black Ops, this didn't feel like it was really connected to the first 2 Black Ops games. But it still did a great job with introducing its own story and showing the aftermath of what technology does to society. And even though it was confusing, it was still a lot of fun to discover that the entire time the answer was right under your pointy nose. You were John Taylor. So overall, let me know what you thought about the campaign in Black Ops 3. I would give this game a solid 8. I think it would have definitely got a solid 10 out of 10 if it contained characters and a lot more connections to Black Ops 2. But on its own, the game was still fun. And I think a lot of people may have misjudged Black Ops 3 as a whole. Because yes, I was expecting tons of connections with Mason, with Reznov. The teaser of the game itself featured Hudson's old voice, the numbers, Mason, what do they mean? Do you guys remember? So in terms of why Treyarch took a different approach with the campaign of Black Ops 3, is definitely a mystery, but the end product was still great. So that's it, everybody. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned in for a couple more reviews coming up regarding Black Ops 3 Zombies. But hope you've enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and peace out, YouTube.
Let your mind relax. Imagine yourself in a frozen forest.
What the fuck? Supposed to be my friend. All you had to do was let us go. Why couldn't you just let us go? We need to speak to Kate right now.
Bug was dead!